Sustainability is probably a word most people have heard of, but not many of them are familiar with it. Not many of them know what to do when it comes to being sustainable. Many of them decide to do nothing about it. Making universities a green place to study is a very important decision that everyone should consider jumping into in order to get healthy communities and cleaner air. Sustainability is a crucial part in today's society. That is why it must be taken into consideration. You may be asking yourself, how can we do this though? In 1987, the United Nations Brundtland Commission defined sustainability as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs.
Well, sustainability, I believe it is the capacity to maintain our natural resources and to be able to use the sources that we have in a wise way so as to keep the planet in a good shape, I would say.
Sustainability for me, I think it is taking care about the resources that we have in our hands, so we can take care of the planet, about also recycling and that kind of things. More or less, because I know they have like this kind of program, so we know what they are doing with this kind of things, like taking care about the places we put the trash, this kind of recycling. I think they also have something with the lighting. Maybe I'm making it up. I don't know, but I think most of the places have like this kind of plans, so they can say that they are taking care of the planet.
I don't know if they are taking any measures openly or if they are making a big campaign about that. I really don't know how much Deusto tries to be sustainable. I know that an effort has been made to, for example, recycle, and we have different bins where to place different items. I don't know if we do individually everything that we can to make Deusto a more sustainable university. I think that we could do more, probably.
Sustainability is here to stay, or we may not be.
More or less, I don't think it should be like an obligation. It's more like something that comes out from the organization, because if you have like to, like, you know what is best for you, the people that you're working with, the students, and also the world, you should take into account this kind of the sustainability, sorry, because that first you are showing that you care about the planet. Second, you're trying to teach that to the students and the people that works there. So I think that's good. You're showing the world that you're taking care of the planet.
We should really take it as an individual responsibility, and the best way to do that, my motto or my way of dealing with that in life is to work in the university and to use the university resources in the same manner as you would do in your own home. Mostly, for example, if you're teaching a class, but then you're leaving, if you were at home, you would probably switch off the lights. But sometimes we don't feel that we have the same responsibility in the university. And I try to do that. If you know that you are not going to be in the office for the rest of the day, you should switch off the heating, for example, these kind of things. And in many other ways, for example, we get some funding sometimes for research trips, and I always try to use the money very wisely, as I would do if I were using my own money. So instead of taking a taxi, I would take the bus or any other kind of cheaper transportation. So I think that this is what we should do, to use money and resources as you would if it were your own money.
I would say like 6, 7. Every time I have trash in my hands, I try to put it in the right bin. But and when we are using classes, and I try to, if there's nothing necessary, I try to turn off the lights. But I don't know if that's considered like a 10. But I will say that I take care, and outside Deusto, I also try to do the best for it.
As I said, I try to be very sustainable. I try to do as much as I can, but I'm sure that I could do more. So I would say a 7, probably. I would say a 7. So I think that we all need to be very responsible about that. I think that we should do as much as we can.
The best way to predict the future is to create it.
I think that we should all make an effort, especially with lights, electricity, heating, all those things, individually and as a collectively. That's probably what we can do, and also, well, include in our courses some kind of education about that, or make a note about that. And it can be simple things. You don't have to give a lecture or to include it in your course content. But you can simply, when you finish the class, say, well, if you stay here, don't forget to switch off the lights when you go, these kind of things.
There is a lot of people who uses a lot of paper for when they wash their hands to dry them. So I will try to do something to reduce that. Because when you go to the toilet, to the bathroom, you see that there's a lot of paper. Also, try to reduce the use of the coffee cups because we use them a lot. I think there was something that was like you buy the cup, and just when you go to the cafeteria, you use it, and then you return it, so you don't use them a lot. But I don't know if it's still going or not. And also, I will try to put more bins because they're a lot, but they don't like separate, so they have like a lot. They always mix it. So if you are trying to recycle, I will try to put on classes, for example, bins with like at least two boxes to make the difference.
Governments could do so much more. I think that they speak about it and they get together and they do some kind of farce about being very preoccupied with the planet. They do these summits and they get together and they talk about it, and they always delay the application of the measurements to be taken. So they talk about the future. They always have this horizon that keeps being always later, 2030, whatever. Instead of really implementing the measurements that will be compulsory for everyone. Governments care about money, short term, because in the long term, if we think about that, if we have no planet, there will be no money, no economy, or nothing to care about, but that's the way they do. So I think it is a little bit hypocritical, and I think that they could definitely do more about that.
I think they are already doing it because if you see the price of the light, it is really high. Jokes apart, I think that they should try to teach it better at schools, because in the end the children are the future of each country. So I think that if you make them aware of the issue, they can try to improve it earlier, so we can try to have a better planet.
In my particular life, I think that I really try, and it is easy for me. For example, things such as I don't even buy any new clothes anymore, almost never. I mean, my clothes are so old that they are torn sometimes because I've been using them for so many years. And I don't really feel like buying any more clothes. I almost never eat meat, for example, and I don't really care that much about food, to be honest. And as I said, in all practices in my house, everybody recycles, and we keep, we are careful about all the things such as electricity and heating and all that. So I would say that I am quite responsible in that sense. And as I said before, there is always more to be done, but I try to do as much as I can.
This project aims to make the University of Deusto a more sustainable place. Stay tuned for our event that will take place in Loyola Centrum, as it is the most appropriate place in University of Deusto for such an event. It will happen during the first semester of the 2022-2023 academic year. See Green, see Deusto.